Hello, everybody, and welcome back to match 2 of the night. We have Siena College going up against the University of Connecticut. UConn has been quite a struggling team as the standings have been going. They are currently sitting at an uncomfortable 1-6, which is not a standing you want to be at. I'm pretty sure they are locked out of playoffs as this is the final week of the season. Siena College, on the other hand, is sitting at 5-2, meaning they are in very strong playoff contention.
Yeah, actually, in terms of the MAC, Siena is currently the #1 team in that conference, and if they get this win over UConn right now, would secure them first place in that conference, like by a win by any means. You know, a 1-point victory, any victory at all, earns them the #1 seed.
Which means a lot is on the line for Siena here. They need to get that big win to lock in first and feel more comfortable, right?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the MAC, you know, there's those 9 teams, and I believe earning the first seed earns you a first-round bye.
That's nice.
For them to earn that that first-round bye would be massive.
Yeah, it would be absolutely great. And of course, the University of Connecticut is a pretty prideful team. They are here to win, and they haven't been winning, but you know they're not going to be pulling any punches just because they are eliminated. They are going to be fighting the good fight against Siena College. They're going to be making the best attempt they can to keep Siena out of locking in that first place seed here. So we'll have to see if they can do it. And first up, we have Waffle coming in for Siena College, going up against University of Connecticut's LK.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with either of these players. I'm not sure what characters they play, but I do know that in a situation like this, I'm kind of looking for a little bit of obscurity. You know, throw something at the wall, see if it works. Especially for UConn, who's had, you know, kind of a rougher go of it this season. You know, this is your chance to kind of experiment right before the end of the season.
Yeah, and remember, it is UConn's first season. The Big East only got added to EGF for this season. So Siena was a college that was here last year. They have more experience in the format with these teams going up against teams as opposed to individual play as players from UConn might be more used to. So we'll have to see if in the future they are able to bring out a better showing. But right now it is Waffle and LK making some sounds in the background here, trying to get everything sorted out and get into game 1.
I mean, not only was Siena here last year, they are the defending champs of the EGF right now, especially of the MAC. I mean, that was a very fun MAC tournament last year. Siena was, you know, one of the top contenders. They had a Shulk player who was very consistent in their roster. I don't remember his tag, but I believe he's in the lineup for tonight.
I'm pretty sure
we'll see him later
on. But that being said, we are getting into, we have LK on Zelda going up against Waffle on this Sonic, on this FT variant we don't get to see too much of, but it is a nice looking stage.
Yeah. I actually like this. Now, one of the things that I'm kind of looking for in this matchup is, you know, we talk a lot about how Sonics like to camp and like to rack up and get combos, but I'm looking for how Waffle tries to set up into kills, because one of the things that Sonic has a lot of kill power, but it seems that in this league, a lot of Sonics find their kills off of raw reads and things of that nature instead of finding kill setups. So I'm looking for how does Waffle find those kill setups?
I mean, yeah, that is typically how Sonics end up finding their kills. They have a couple things like up throw, up the up air to set things up, but it's not super reliable, not super consistent. A lot of times you have to rely on finding some sort of hard read or ledge trap to close out stocks on your opponent. And so far, we haven't seen that much incredible bread and butter Sonic play from Waffle. Both stocks are completely even here.
And immediately you can kind of see LK of Siena up being the stage quite frequently. Not the safest option, but that up B has a very deceptive hitbox. But the strong back air hit from Waffle takes stock 1.
The back air does take it, and that up B is surprisingly hard to punish, especially on Wi-Fi conditions. There's a lot less lag at the end of it than you expect there to be. So you have to be on guard, you have to be looking out for it. And with an early lead, this is where Sonic certainly thrives. He is so good at playing safe and racking on easy, cheap percent that when Sonic pulls ahead, he gets that stock lead, he can really just run away with it.
Yeah. And you're seeing, ooh, there you go. That up B can kill. It has to be at a higher percent in order to do so, but it does have plenty of knockback. And one of the adaptations that we saw, it was one of the adaptations that we saw Waffle go for early was he parried one of up B back to center stage. So if he can, it's hard to parry in these conditions, but if he can consistently get those down, it's going to be a really rough day for Elke.
Yeah, parrying against Zelda, who has such telegraph moves like that up B, is very important, but that air dodge, not too telegraphed, a great hard read from Waffle to catch out the movement, the F smash, gives him a full stock lead here as he racks up a lot of extra percent immediately.
Yeah, and this is one of the challenges for LK. Ooh, nice lightning kick there, but Zelda is a character that really plays better with the lead, is not a very comeback type of character. You know, they have a lot of moves that are laggy and cause Zelda really to be in place and be vulnerable, but also, on the other hand, it keeps characters like Sonic away fairly well.
Yeah, the zoning kick keeps Sonic away. That down B is a powerful tool, but it's just not enough when you're going up against a Waffle on this Sonic. The second raw F smash connecting, clipping the movement from LK means it's going to be a 2-stock victory for Waffle, and he's going to get the first points of the match.
Stuff from Waffle, and honestly, I think the difference maker here was he really caught on to that tendency of recovering to center stage. And not every up B is safe. It feels like up B for Zelda is a very safe move, as you see in the replay there. It gets that first kill on the Waffle. But again, it's the tendencies, right? If you continue to do an option, eventually you're going to get punished for it.
For sure. No, you have to be careful with how you're spending options like that, and we see some great reads coming out from Waffle. He takes it, and now if you're LK here, you're probably pretty scared. You probably want to take Waffle to somewhere with a little more platforms, maybe something like a tri-flat or town and city, just somewhere where you have more space, because it felt like every time Waffle could just go to one side of the stage and start charging a spin dash, it feels so hard for Zelda, being so slow, to get away from it.
Yeah. One of the players that I used to play against when I played for the Canisius roster last year was a Zelda player, and he really liked Smashville. So I wonder if he'll go to a stage like Smashville. Smashville's got fairly large blast zones off the sides, I believe, and that one platform kind of mitigates Sonic's ability to really camp out, and it would allow Zelda enough space to throw out all the projectiles that she has.
It definitely makes a lot of sense.
I flipped my blast zones. I flipped my blast zones there. Sorry about that.
Yeah. It's tall and narrow, but yeah. Zelda, not a character who kills off the top all that often. It's typically going to be those lightning kicks going off the side, or something like a down smash clipping at a bad angle. So it is a very good stage for the character. It makes it very nice to have that one platform you can shark on. It gives Zelda that ceiling. It very hard limits where your opponent can approach you from. So I can definitely see it being a constriction. I can also see it being banned out, right? This is a format where you do have stage bans. So if you know a stage is very good for the other player, you can always just get rid of it.
Yeah, also very true. And I also considered, maybe town and city, but I also know that Sonics tend to like that stage a lot because of the way those triplats are angled.
The triplats...
Or positioned, I should say.
Yeah, the platforms on town and city, the positionings being at those really... weird angles is something that allows Sonic to have access to them a lot better than most other characters, right? Sonic is so mobile, he's so fast that just because the platforms are in those really weird, awkward spots, you can still get to them just fine. And that really helps. So seeing Smashville is open is where I would expect the counter pick to be for LK. We'll have to see if he's thinking on the same wavelengths as the Zelda player that you are friends with, as it looks like we have picked Lylat as the stage. Very interesting.
Yeah, here's the thing. We saw Lylat in the last set kind of be, I use this term a lot, this double-edged sword, especially in terms of sharking from underneath, that recovery. And I feel like this actually benefits the Sonic a little bit more, because even though Zelda is able to cover those platforms a little bit better, Sonic still has a lot of agency and mobility on stage, and Lylat's stage is very small, right? So Zelda's not going to have a lot of time to throw out all her projectiles.
Yeah, Lylat is a weird stage. I feel like when you go to Lylat, you want to abuse these low platforms and the sleds, right? And I feel like Zelda doesn't really do either particularly well, and I feel like Sonic can use both well. So I don't quite understand the stage pick. I think it might just be something that the player is comfortable on, and it might not be for the matchup, if I had to guess.
Yeah. That is also true. The small. my bad. But
so Zelda is a character who likes having platforms at her head, which is something we talked about when we went over why she likes Smashville so much, and it is still true on this stage. But I don't see why you go here when you could go to Smashville.
The other thing, too, is that if you think about how Sonic recovers, he doesn't have a hitbox when he recovers, which we saw in the last set end up being, good catch with the side B there. But we saw that was kind of the reason why the Corrin player struggled, is the hitbox. It can clip through that, the edge of the stage, but if Sonic doesn't have that hitbox, you throw out something, you might be able to clip Sonic instead.
Yeah, that is something the ledges do. It makes anything that goes flat actually hit under the ledge and below the stage. And Zelda isn't really a character who can use it, but her down tilt can find some value against Sonic, whose up B is so easy to cover if you hard read that he is going to ledge, not trying to cover high onto the stage or anything.
That was an awkward scenario at ledge. The ledge trump came through, and then Zelda actually got the drag down there, so good reaction by Waffles to quickly up B back to stage.
Yeah, very, very important. He had his jump, so I think he would have been fine if he dropped lower, but wasting any time in a panic scenario off stage like that can be very costly. And now, 106, 122 on the Zelda, he is not that heavy of a character, and 42% on the Sonic is already good extra credit, and it keeps getting higher.
Yeah, and Waffle is doing a really good job of utilizing the space. I mean, the LK is, trying to zone out and occasionally goes in for kills like that, but you see Waffle really maneuvering around and racking up percent, but this is the problem. There you go. Finds the down smash. How is Sonic gonna land the kill move?
You do see these platforms paying off for LK. We saw Waffle getting a lot of value before from approaching from the top, and now that is not an option off the table, it is a lot easier for LK to play a defensive game.
Ooh, first down air we've seen from Sonic. Down air not, a very good tool unless, of course, you're approaching from above, and it's also very committal, right? It makes you fast fall right into typically the face of your opponent. So it's one of those moves you have to only really throw out if you know it's going to land.
And it did not land there. It was, in fact, punished. And now a full stock lead in a reversal of the game one, which ended in a 2-stock. It is now LK, who is up 2 stocks to 1, lapping their opponent in the percent and looking very favored in the game.
That's the other tool for LK that I'd like to see more of. That neutral B comes out so fast and actually covers a surprising amount of space. that it's so hard for characters to get in on.
Also, it's disjointed and has a lot of priority, which means it can stuff out spin dash approaches very easily.
I think LK wanted to use that knight to pressure off stage, but ended up turning it the wrong way, so he just kind of gave up that ledge trap.
Very unfortunate, but at 112, he's in a little bit of danger. The follow-up isn't there for Waffle, however, and he needs to close out this stock fast because every single stock in this format matters, and the difference between a 2-stock and a 1-stock can be very big sometimes.
And you can kind of tell now, Waffle's, throwing out a handful of smash attacks. He's hunting for that kill.
He's definitely playing a lot more patient than he was before. He's trying to find the big opening that he needs. Okay, giving up stage there, but Waffle not able to capitalize on it. Sonic is not a character who can actively fight for stage control aggressively. That's how this character does. But he is able to catch the movement, find an up smash. Now, stocks are even, but almost 100% still separate the two players.
Yeah, and again, that platform, being low enough to be caught by that up smash is so pivotal. And in a format where we said every stock matters, and now LK trying to get at a disadvantage, the up B gonna do it.
Yeah, I think Waffle thought that up B was going to ledge. I don't think he thought it was going to clip him, but it will be a 1-stock win for LK in Game 2 here, reversing things a little bit and taking us to a Game 3.
Yeah, and the Lilac counter pick works, Waffle, despite his ability to maneuver around and kind of weave in, get some hits here and there, and at the end of the day, Zelda also has plenty of kill power. Now, a lot of her moves, you have to get the strong hitbox of it for it to really, pack a punch, but that still means, Zelda has all the, kill power in the world to do so.
Yeah, Zelda, great projectiles, the up air, the forward and back air, all really great kill tools. The up B there, as we see, also has a very, very strong hitbox on it. So Zelda's not lacking kill power, and also surprisingly, Zelda not lacking in survivability. She is one of the lightest characters in the game, but I guess there is some aluminum foil, some metal foil in that dress of Zelda's, because she is very solidly a mid-weight character when she changes her cores out.
Yeah, and it's a very awkwardly built character too, because you have all these projectiles and then all the boxing tools that we've talked about in the past. Zelda doesn't really have those, and yet she still hits like a truck.
Yeah. The main problem is that all of her kill tools are very specific, right? You have these really, really strong sweet spots on her aerials, but if you miss the sweet spot, they're really weak moves, right? You have this up B that is very strong if it connects, but it's very committal, it's very telegraphed, and it's very punishable, right? So everything Zelda does is very situational, so it can kill, but you very rarely see any individual thing be the option that closes things out because of how narrow their use cases are.
Yeah, and you could also kind of make that argument for Sonic 2, where it's he has kill moves like up smash, forward smash, down smash. All of those are very good, but it's a case of actually finding the opportunity to land those, because typically you throw out a smash attack on a shield or on something like a shield, you're just going to get punished for it.
Mm-hmm. You definitely have to be very, very careful. Sonic, a little bit less punishable. He's got some fast moves, as it turns out, but they are definitely punishable if you hit back in time. And these players do like to take their sweet time with these picks and bans, but in the end, it looks like we are going to be going to Pokemon Stadium 2 for our third and final game of this first set.
Yeah, we talked about how Pokemon Stadium 2, we make the joke about how it's like a neutral stadium, but honestly, in this type of matchup, I really think this is neutral stadium. I don't think this stadium really gives their player an advantage.
Yeah, I think both of these characters do very similar things. They both like to play with a lot of space. They both like to run back to the edge of the stage and charge up some zoning move against their opponent. For Sonic, it is the Nash. For Zelda, it is that Phantom, it is that Din's Fire. So the stage really benefits and detracts from both players in very similar ways. The one thing it doesn't have is those platforms acting as ceilings. The platforms on the stage are relatively high up, and they're pretty thin, so Zelda has a much harder time just standing under them and limiting Waffle to their shield. But that being said, LK playing really, really great in its first stock, finds a lead very early.
That was such a clean read on the jump from ledge, and Zelda's aerials, we talked about how punishing they are, especially if you get the strong hit of that move. It is so powerful. Sonic, a very light character, definitely in the bottom third of the cast, but can afford to go deep on edge guards just like that.
Yeah, Sonic, really great recovery, a high jump, and that up B gives him great vertical distance, so he can go deep, find that area, make that just fine, even things up, and now it's Waffle taking the lead once again, but a great lightning kick.
That lightning kick did something like 25%. Yeah, it is so dangerous when you land a strong hitbox.
For sure, but both players really just finding all bits of chip damage on the second shot. Nope, finally take combos or break out for themselves. A couple spin dash hits, just a couple phantom hits, traded back and forth, and it's a small 20% lead in Waffle's favor. Nobody's blowing anything out of the water quite yet.
Waffle's trying to catch on to LK's recovery, but LK is doing a little bit better job of mixing it up. We saw he still likes to recover to center stage, but he's starting to, go for ledge a little bit more and then just kind of stall out there and see what option Waffle's going for.
Yeah, Waffle needs to press field when he sees these options coming through. He gets hit by so many when, like, either you are going to get hit, you get punished for it, or you aren't, and then you have plenty of time to react. Like, you're Sonic. You can run over and punish the Zelda who misses up B, but if you get hit, you need to be ready.
Good catch there on the forward tilt, and here's one of the things for Sonic's ledge trap ability. Waffle hasn't had a whole lot of success with it, and once again, LK able to find a way out of the corner.
Yeah, LK able to make it out, but it's looking pretty scary for him. He needs to find this kill. This back throw needs to kill, but Zelda relatively heavy in that back throw from center stage, not even close. And this 10% on Waffle doesn't mean a lot now, but if he can't close out this stock, it's just going to keep getting worse for him.
You can't find the kill move. You can see he's hunting for it too now. He's looking for any kind of opening, trying to read the movement of LK, and LK is just kind of playing reactionary to it, saying, okay, you think I'm going to be here? Nope, this is actually my option.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about at the start, right? Sonic is a character who needs to find these kills off of pretty hard reads. He has a really easy time racking up percent, but once your opponent is in this 150, 160 range, your throw combos aren't going to work, and it's going to need to be a raw hit that you just completely call out your opponent with, or else you're not going to find it.
Yeah, something I'm looking for here, we really haven't seen Waffle go for a lot of grabs. Now, out of spin dash, you can't grab, so that makes sense, and that's been Waffle's main approach option. But I would like to see him, go for a grab, instead of something, where he uses as a ledge trap. Go for it in neutral. Go for something like a tomahawk.
Yeah, you need to find some opening. I will say, the one thing in Waffle's favor is, while he hasn't been able to find this kill on LK, he has not taken very much damage himself, and I guess there's a little bit of a caster scarce. He has not taken a little bit of much of damage himself. He was sitting at 20% while he racked 100% onto LK. Now, at only 48, things are relatively even, but a big reversal string from Waffle puts a dangerous amount of percent onto LK. And LK is looking poised to actually bring Yukon the lead out the gate.
And that's the thing, too, is that LK got disadvantage off of 2 stray hits. Waffle overextended twice, and now he's down a full 120%.
Absolutely. It is such a punishing matchup when you find your strengths, when you find your combos, and there is that Nairu's love stuffing out the undisjointed approaches that Sonic is forced to use. Ooh, this could be
I
big.
think he caught
He
the
goes
jump.
for it all. Can he even make it back to stage?
I think he can.
Oh man,
Maybe
what a
Nintendo won't though.
time to disconnect. Oh man.
That
Oh
was such a huge
man.
edge guard.
What do
Oh,
we
that's
even
tragic.
do? Wait, that could have actually gone either way. Do we replay one stock? Do we replay the game? I'm so confused. Like, I can't call that for either player.
Yeah. I guess we'll see what the result was after the match. Oh no. Oh, Waffle DC'd, I see.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I guess Waffle DC'd, so we are going to be giving the win over to UConn's LK. I think we're going to count that as a one-stock victory because his opponent lost connection, so we're going to get a rules clarification. I think we're going to throw it to a quick break while we look for some rules clarifications. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll keep you posted. Okay, hello and welcome back, everybody. After some careful review, we have decided to award the 1-point victory over to LK. The main deciding factor being that it was Waffle who disconnected. LK had such a huge advantage, and it was his opponent who disconnected. Means that it couldn't have been anything scummy going on with like closing out your router from some disadvantaged position. So it felt pretty safe to give it over to LK. And now that does leave us at 1-1, or a double 1 stock for LK and a 2 stock for Waffle, meaning LK will take the set 4 points to 2, giving University of Connecticut a 2-point lead out the gate, which is very impressive considering how strong Siena's performances have been and how weak UConn's have been. It's really, really important for them to come out with an early lead in this matchup, even if it is only 2 points.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunate way to end the first set. I mean, there's no other way to go about it. No one likes when someone disconnects. It's tragic. But results are as they are, and so for UConn, this is a big, first game for them to take this early lead against, we talked about it, a Siena team that's really been consistent week in and week out.
Yeah, Siena has been really good, but Waffle has not really been the care. We've seen X-Roy, Knight, and Pango putting in a lot of the work for the team, especially X-Roy. He has been absolutely insane recently. He's been popping off for the team, so we'll have to see what happens moving forward. And we need to get the next round of players in the lobby, but I'm going to be honest, I feel kind of scummy sending it to a break all of a sudden. I feel like we just ended, but I actually do have word the players are in the lobby, so we should be getting into it pretty soon. So it looks like we are going to sit around. Bivers, I feel like I see Bivers play every week, and I never remember who he plays.
Yeah, Bivers is one of the more consistent players of this lineup, and I believe he also played last year. This isn't the Shulk player, but if I remember correctly.
I think Knight plays Shulk, right?
Yeah, I think Knight is the Shulk player, but sure. Bivers, one of the consistent faces of this team. I believe he's typically like worth 2 points at least a set for them. So this is another heavy hitter, and UConn, we'll see what they bring out.
Do you remember who Bivers plays?
No, I don't. I'm trying
We're
to
both
go
afflicted.
through...
We see him like every week. He's like always playing. He's literally played every week.
Siena, but yeah, I played against him last year, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure he destroyed me because I'm bad at the game. But I mean, this Siena team, there's no shortage of talent, and Bivers is
for sure.
I keep harping on the point, but I mean, when there's no shortage of talent on the team, like, you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah, and Wukong for the side of University of Connecticut. I would be happy. I would be amused if he were to play Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong. However, I'm not positive.
Well, regardless, we did mention before this game is important in terms of standings. Siena to fall behind early, off to a rough start, but I mean, this is an important game for them. They win this game, they lock up that #1 seed in the MAC conference. UConn, if they get this win here, they dodge that Big East bullet of DePaul. So this is a big game.
It is indeed. We need to see what comes of it. We have some bands on screen coming out from the two teams. We see Smashville, Town and City, and Final Destination are the bands so far. We'll have to see where we end up going for the game itself, and it looks like the pick is going to be Battlefield here.
Yeah. Classic triplat. Can't go wrong with Battlefield, in my opinion. This stage often helps characters that have a lot of combo ability, that love to abuse jumps and catch landings. But we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, we will indeed have to see how it goes. As we hear that ready in the background, the players are getting into game here, and we have Falco. That's what it was. Oh my god. I can't believe I can remember that. Bivers playing Falco, going up against Wukong on the Bowser. Not quite Donkey Kong, but he is still that big, heavy hitter.
Yeah, this is a very strange matchup. I've played a little bit of Falco, and the one thing about Falco is that his multi-hits make this character very obnoxious, but Bowser, you know, being that tanky heavy, can survive long enough against all these multi-hits. So even though the percents are going to be a little misleading. Wukong is going to be down for most of the game, but this is the part of the game that's going to be important. Can Bivers connect moves like that? Up tilt going to be, you know, like you said, super clean. Up tilt going to be super important in this matchup. Wukong, when he is down, that's going to be his time to really shine, you know, when Falco stops connecting moves.
Bivers is just playing this so well. We haven't seen Wukong find any big openings. He's only really gotten percent off stray hits, and this is the battlefield combos that Falco can do. Wukong probably not doing his scouting against Bivers. If he left tri-plats open, you have to ban those against a Falco player. He can do some absolutely insane things, and now we see Bivers already up 2 stocks to 1 in this matchup where the Bowser is probably pretty unfavored. These lasers make neutral so hard.
Yeah, it's hard for Bowser to find a way in, but if he does, Falco's a pretty light character, definitely in the bottom third of the cast in terms of weight. So finding a good strong hit somewhere at this percent will probably close it out, likely from anywhere.
Yeah, those hollow bones do not help Falco with that gravity. But that being said, it is still a very good lead for Bivers here, and he has such great tools in the matchup. The forward air will trade with almost anything due to Bowser not having disjoints. The back air is one of the few moves in the game that really can reliably kill a Bowser. So there's so many things Falco has going for him, aside from just the lasers that make playing neutral feel so much better against this big, heavy character who wants to just approach you and eat them to the face over and over again.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. The tough guy armor of Bowser, you know, really coming in clutch there. A couple times you see him throw out that smash attack and just armor through the multi-hits. He'll take a little bit of percent for it, but it's absolutely worth it if he connects the smash attack.
It is absolutely worth it, and now 84% on Bowser being so heavy means Wukong is still sitting pretty decently out of kill range, unless a double down air comes through for Bivers. Oh my god.
Falco's down air, I swear, is the most satisfying move to hit. Let's just listen to the sound of it. Bam, and then drop down. Oh, the drop zone dare is just so satisfying. And, I mean, great stuff to Bivers. That looked very commanding. And that's such a huge momentum swing, too, to finish the set in a fashion like that.
It certainly is. And not just that stock, every stock that Bivers took looked so good, carrying Wukong all the way off stage, catching his jump, not letting him make it back. And then this stock, the first stock was just really great with a up tilt to back air confirm. Incredibly clean by Bivers. Incredibly well played. It was looking like it was going to be a 3 stock for a while there, but it was Wukong able to even up the stock count. Not quite.
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going to take this Falco as Bowser?
I don't know. I think that he would probably want to go to a stage like, let's see, if Smashville and Yoshi's Story are banned, he's probably looking at either Town or PS2, I think. I wouldn't go to an FD or a Lilat just because they're kind of, well, not FD as much. Lilat, I feel like the blast zones are too close. Bowser's going to have much more survivability there than Falco. D, landing on either of these characters is bad news. I feel like that's too much of a double-edged sword. Kalos could be good, especially since Falco gets wall jumps, so he might like that stage. It would also give him space to throw out more and more lasers.
Yeah, the Bowser is kind of thinking.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I completely mixed up my teams there. Yeah, no. Well,
I like this ban on Yoshi's. That's very important. We can't go back to Battlefield because of DSR, so banning out Yoshi's is very, very important. And then the other ban being on Smashville, I think is also pretty good. It makes it hard to approach Falco from above, as well as that platform being omnipresent to extend combos. And we see the pick being Battlefield. You take away any platforms from the Falco, he can't get those insane up air strings on you. The other side of it being he is enabled to throw out even more lasers, but if you just walk and shield for a little bit, it's hard for the Falco to stop that on FD against the Bowsers. So as long as you play it smart, I think it is a good stage where you can really maintain a lot of stage control as Wukong on the Bowser.
And on top of that, this is the type of stage that kind of forces Falco to come to you, right? There's only so many places you can go on FD.
Exactly.
So if he just, forces Falco to approach him, that's exactly the type of playstyle that Bowsers love, right? They just love to camp and shield and up B out of it. And that, it racks up so much percent. And against Falco, if you take away all the space that he has to work with outside of lasers, he really doesn't have any other options than to approach. Now, Falco has tools to get in with, but against Bowser, it's so scary to utilize them.
Yeah, Falco is really a boxer. He doesn't have amazing ways to get in, but once he is in, he absolutely excels in this medium-range combat, as we see straight out the gate, 69% being put onto Wukong, put a great Flame Breath, instantly even things back up.
Yeah, it's going to be very volatile. Ooh, he wanted the down air.
Really, really great attempt from Wukong. We see the great boxing game, and Bivers feeling himself a little bit too hard, going for some really ambitious down airs, throwing away some of his stage positioning, and eating an offstage fair means it's actually Wukong with that rage getting the early lead, but immediately answered back by Bivers.
I like the adaptation by Wukong to throw out more forward airs. Bowser's forward air is so good, it covers so much space. It's practically like Ganon forward air in terms of how much space it covers. It hits a little weaker, but if you use it sparingly in edgeguard situations, it's so powerful.
Bivers really it's too predictable. Wukong is really adapted. He's going for those early upbeats every time, and we have to see if maybe next time Bivers just stands on stage and charges an F smash.
Yeah, Bivers has to be very careful with his recoveries because Bowser has so many tools, and he's starting to catch on too with these recoveries. Both of these characters in disadvantage have fairly predictable recoveries, so it's pretty easy to read, and it's going to be such a bait and punish game.
Oh, that's such a huge fire breath. Bivers didn't get the roll through, and he got clipped for so much percent off of it. And with the rage, the up tilt off the parry will even up not even up the stock and give Wukong the lead. And now this counter pick is paying off so well for him, as he has a good chance of extra credit, but Bivers answers back immediately once again.
Yeah, those conversions off of up tilt are so important to Falco players. It just racks up so much damage. It's his bread and butter. You have to have it down if you're going to play Falco.
Absolutely, and now Bivers with a percent lead, but we've seen time and time again in this matchup, the percent lead has not mattered. It's only been about who finds that first stock kill on this stage, and it's been Wukong both times.
Ooh, but in disadvantage, he wanted the drag down. That would have been the stock if he got it, but Wukong back in disadvantage. Ooh, good early up B to get out of there.
Yeah, Wukong's just completely adapted, and Bivers is not counter-adapting. He keeps going for these drop zone aerials, and he keeps getting punished for it over and over again. Now the percent back to even. Rage and weight favoring Wukong on the Bowser. It's looking good for him. The back air isn't going to kill. It's Bowser. He's too heavy. But at 98, the back air from the Bowser certainly would.
Bowser without a jump. This is dangerous. Good lasers. This is the stock. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. As soon as those lasers connected, you knew exactly where Bowser was going to end up.
Absolutely great lasers from Bivers, realizing his opponent doesn't have the jump. There's no other way for Wukong to get back to stage. It's an absolutely free runoff down air at that point. Bivers does find it. He makes it happen. And now he takes the lead for Siena. He brings them back into the point advantage. He earns 5 more points for his team, putting them at 7-4 and having a 3-point lead.
And the momentum starts to swing back the other way. You know, UConn, they took game 1, but Siena able to answer right back. It's a very, back and forth through 2 games. This is a pivotal game 3.
It is an absolutely pivotal game 3, and we have X-Roy coming in for it as well. One of the hard hitters from this Siena lineup going up against Jimbo from University of Connecticut means that it is a pivotal point in the match, and Siena is not messing around. They are putting in the big guns to try and close it out.
Yeah, and it should be good stuff. I mean, we talked about how this lineup is filled with talent. UConn, it's the same way for them. They've got players that can play well, but it's about bringing it all on the same day at this time. So,
absolutely,
we'll just have to see how it goes.
And that being said, we will have to see after a quick break while we get the players in and set up. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned because this is a very important game 3 coming up. Hello and welcome back, everybody. We are bringing you Game 3 between Siena College's Pango going up against Jimbo for the University of Connecticut. And Pango, the team captain, always a hard hitter whenever he comes in.
Yeah, and an important point in the series because this is a pivotal Game 3. If Siena gets this win here, this lead looks a whole lot more dangerous, and this is the chance for UConn to come back in the set. So PS2 is the stage, and I think we're ready to go.
It is indeed that way. We are ready to go. We are going to be going to PS2, and we have Pango on the Game & Watch that he has put in so much work on, going up against Jimbo on this Ridley that we've seen a pretty surprising amount of over the course of time in EGF.
Yeah, this is another kind of strange matchup because it feels like, Ridley should be a heavier character, but he's actually fairly light. And Game & Watch, a very light character, also can hit like a truck. So this is a very, awkward matchup for both, but the dead. Down smash.
That's a
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. And Pango off to a quick start.
Yeah, really quick start. Oh, no. Jimbo.
Oh, the pain train.
He can't make it back, can he? Oh, so close. Great drift from Jimbo. Really good to not up be straight to the ledge, or he would have gotten clipped by that down smash. Well played, but despite all that, it was still for survival. He is still so far down and yet to find any actual openings for himself.
Yeah, and Pango making every hit count, connecting everything, and it's so hard to approach Mr. Game & Watch. And look at all the coverage Pango's throwing out. Yeah,
it's absolutely smothering pressure from Pango. These bombs, these aerials, we've only seen stray hits from Jimbo, punishing maybe a laggy startup on an option. We haven't seen any confirms, any combos from Jimbo. His aggression has only ever been in response to something Pango has done, and we need to see him take the pace in his own hands.
Ooh, and Jimbo's got to be very careful here. Not only is he on near death on his stock, there we go, forward tilt gonna kill from the ledge there, but I was gonna say, both of these guys at kill percent, one good strong hit anywhere would do it, and the down air connecting right before the up B comes out, that was huge.
Pango is playing so well here, a full stock ahead. Finding the first combo of this stock matchup as well means he is going to start lapping his opponent and building up some really, really insane extra credit. Looking poised to even go for a 2-stock here as he gets a stage spike. This could be a big ledge trap.
Connects the nair, finds the up air, but ooh, dangerous up B back to stage. Jimbo playing this one on a nice edge.
Pango's feeling it. He just wants the clip right now. He is farming for 9s. I don't know if it's going to come as Jimbo is getting really high in percent, and the stage spike is almost going to do it. The key misses, which gives Jimbo an extra try at life, but at 121, he needs to close out this stock and save the point for his team.
Yeah, this is a big stock for Jimbo if he can hold on to it. Ooh, nearly able to space around that down smash with his own.
Yeah, but not quite. Now 157. The rage is actually built up enough that the up B will kill from center stage. And Pango really needs to close this out. And he does. Okay, no, he doesn't. It's looking scary with one max rage on Jimbo, on Ridley. When you're playing Game & Watch, it could be just a few more stray hits, but Pango finally finds the up smash, secures the 1-stock victory, and earns another point for his team, extending their lead and taking Jimbo to Game 2, where it's going to be pretty do or die.
That was such a huge win for Pango. I mean, Jimbo was at such a high percent, but for Jimbo to take that second stock and, mitigate the damage was massive, because really, Jimbo was trapped in the corner that whole set. For him to keep it that close keeps them alive in this, despite taking the loss.
Yeah, very, very good showing from Jimbo. And on his counter pick, it's looking really good for him. I think if he goes to a stage that really favors him, we might see Jimbo take this next game. He was able to survive for so long on that last stock, and if he just adapts to the matchup, keeps playing like that going forward, he could definitely make the run back happen and get the set for himself.
The issue that Jimbo kind of runs into in this matchup is that once he really has plenty of kill power, especially on a light character like Game & Watch, but he's going to get comboed for days. So even if he survives, he has to play so careful. It forces him to go in on Mr. Game & Watch, and Mr. Game & Watch has so many defensive options that at the end of that first game, you saw by the time it was back to a one-stock game, Jimbo's at 150%, and he has to approach, which is not the situation you want to be in at all.
Yeah, and the disadvantage is just so rough for Ridley in this matchup. Ridley has no good landing tools, and Game & Watch is one of the best characters in the game at sharking landings. The super disjointed neutral air, the up air is a projectile that sends you back up into the air to continue the string. He's got the up B to chase you high. He does so many things that make it so hard to land, and when Ridley already has a difficult time to landing, it just makes it so much worse.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, you think of how Ridley got his kills. It was off of, I believe, a forward smash, and then the up B armoring through Game & Watch projectiles. Yeah, the bacon. So it's not easy for Ridley to get in at all on this character, but that's the difficulty of this matchup. That's the challenge that he has to overcome here.
It is, and we'll have to see if Jimbo is able to make it happen, or if Pango can clean things up, because he started that game off incredibly clean, and if he's able to play like that more often, it could be a 2-stock coming up, maybe even a 3 if he really, really pulls it out on Jimbo. But that was only at the start. Toward the end, Jimbo was looking a lot better. It definitely looked like he was a little bit phased by the matchup and needed time to figure things out for himself.
Right, and on top of that, we did see Pango get a little greedy, go for a couple 9 hammers,
Yeah.
didn't come to anything. But, I mean, for Jimbo to just survive that long after getting 0 to death in the first stock, it was a huge adjustment for him.
And it looks like we have word in from Jimbo. It looks like Kalos is going to be the pick for the Ridley, which makes some sense. I feel like it doesn't help you land, which is the biggest problem with the matchup. But what it does do is it gives you those close side blast zones, and we see a character switch from Pango.
This is interesting. We don't typically see a Diddy Kong on stream, so this will be interesting to see. I think this is the first Diddy Kong in the EGF.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any. We'll have to see if it's clean. I don't think I've seen Pango play anything besides that Game & Watch so far, but we'll have to see if this Diddy Kong is practiced or if he's disrespecting his opponent a little bit, because he was playing pretty disrespectful at the end of that first game.
Now, the other thing here, there's 2 big important notes for Pango here. 1, Diddy Kong gets wall jumps, so he has an easier time recovering. 2, that banana toss, the initial toss when you press the input, that banana toss covers the upper platform. So it's not going to be easy for Jimbo to get out of disadvantage, which is already a struggle for Ridley.
Okay, but Pango is schmovin' right now.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong is an incredibly mobile character, and Pango is using it perfectly. He is absolutely running circles around Jimbo. The side B movement, the wave lands even on the platform. Pango is playing so on point here.
It's so hard to track, characters like Diddy Kong who have so many movement options, even if you're, especially for a character like Ridley who's so big. But yeah, and that's the second stock that Jimbo's been able to take off these stray up Bs.
I mean, that wasn't even straight. He comboed into that up B. I've never seen that. That was crazy.
It's a move that's got some power behind it, but you don't think of it as a type of kill option, right? Because it feels unsafe to use.
Yeah, it's very laggy, it's very telegraphed, but When your opponent's in the air like that and doesn't have any good option to get out of it, it can be very powerful. And I think Jimbo grabbed the banana there. Is that what happened? Maybe the side B's just too short, but either way, he does barely make it back.
Good survive there on the up smash. It's you know, that high ceiling of Callus. Oh, they're playing a dangerous game. Man. The shield dance is on right now.
It's definitely on, and at 151, Jimbo has to feel in danger, but with that rage on his side and 64% racked up on the Pango, a solid hit could actually put Jimbo into the lead, and we'll have to see if he's able to find it or if Pango can close things out.
Whoa, that was such a good read. Typically, I mean, this is a Ridley classic. The side B into a mash out into jab. A good job cleaning up that stock there. But Jimbo on the read doesn't go for the jab. Instead, waits for Pango to do a defensive option and forward smashes. And Ridley's forward smash is one of the best in the game.
It's really, really good. Pango, though, does clean it up immediately and gets the percent lead back in his favor. But when Jimbo has hard reads like that in his repertoire, Pango cannot be comfortable. He cannot get loose and lazy. He needs to keep playing clean, or else another forward smash like that could give the point back to UConn.
Ooh, good catch on the up smash. Now, how's he going to get out? Oh, he was so greedy.
Only a forward smash as a punish won't kill, which means you only need the percent for it, but Ridley, relatively light, stuck at 122%, 130 now against this Donkey Kong, means he can't be comfortable, but he's got the rage, and we just saw what Ridley can do with that maxed out rage. It's going to be a tense last hit here.
Ooh, this is, yeah, absolutely close. One back air, I think, from either of them will do it.
Yeah, one smash, one solid aerial, the side B even from Diddy Kong, almost killing. He hits the banana, but the trip follow-up isn't there, and it's Jimbo with a down smash who takes the stock and evens things up 1-1 in an absolutely insane game too.
Was such a clutch moment from Jimbo to get out of the corner, survive the hit from the banana. The worst time to roll in. He hasn't rolled in all set. And Jimbo just says, okay, I gotta cover as much space as possible. Down smash.
Absolutely. It pays off well for Jimbo, though, as he takes the game. And now, do you think we're going to see Pango stick to this Diddy Kong or go back to the Game & Watch?
It's hard to say. I really liked watching the Diddy Kong, but I think you have to go with what works here and switch back to the Game & Watch.
I agree. I think this game is too important to be pulling out your weird secondaries, and this secondary looks very practiced. Pango looks like he definitely really knew what he was doing on the Diddy Kong, but I would go back to the tried and true game plan for him as well.
And, I mean, the Diddy Kong, like, as practice as it looked, it was so close. That was just the thing, was he could not find a kill confirm. There was a moment there where it seemed like he was going to get the clip. He threw the banana, and then after throwing the banana, Diddy Kongs will typically go for a down tilt, and it will either, you know, catch them and reset them in that, I forget what the state is called when they're just on, knockdown. Or in that scenario, it would have sent him off the ledge in perfect position for a drop zone dare. But the timing is so key on that. A Wi-Fi, it's a lot harder. And at that percent, it was the window of opportunity was so small. So I respect what he was going for. It's clearly a practice character, as you said, but unable to connect it.
Yeah, we saw Pango at the very end actually hit the banana, but he read that the jump would come out to dodge the banana from Jimbo. So he tried to cover that with a back air, but instead the banana connected and he wasn't there on the ground to punish it. So it's very, very unfortunate for Pango how that last final interaction played out for him. And right now we are just chilling, waiting as Jimbo thinks hard about his bans. And I don't blame him. This is such an important match. If University of Connecticut wins this, they will at minimum tie things back up for themselves going in to the final 2 games of the set. They are a team that only has 1 win under their belt. And if they're able to get a win on the number 2 team in the league, that would be absolutely huge for them.
Yeah, a loss here for Siena would open the door to so many teams for that number 1 seed, especially in the MAC. The MAC is a very top-heavy division or a conference where the top teams are stacked at the top, and then the bottom has only a handful of wins. So everyone outside of first place is just next door neighbors.
Absolutely, and it's going to be Town and City as the pick for Pango here. The counter pick. I think that means we're going to see the Game & Watch come back out. The up B can allow him to cover a lot of platforms. The Nair height as well means that a lot of the stage transformations are very beneficial for that Game & Watch here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see.
Ooh.
Okay, well, how about a third character instead?
I guess so, yeah. We see Pokemon Trainer come out for Pango going against this Ridley. And he's just digging deep into his pockets. He doesn't want to go with what's tried and true. He wants to win, and he wants to win on his own terms, playing what he wants to. As we get into Game 3.
So I've seen this type of matchup plenty of times, and I feel like it's always different, not just because, Pokemon trainers have so much variety, but I feel like I've seen it go both ways, where the Pokemon trainer just absolutely destroys Ridley, or Ridley just 3-stocks Pokemon trainers. And so I'm kind of curious to see how this one plays out.
I think that the Pokemon trainer should definitely be advantage. I feel like at the low percent, Squirtle has so much more mobility than Ridley. At the mid percent, the disjoints from Ivysaur are incredibly powerful. And at high percent, Charizard just has that extra survivability he needs, just like that against the Ridley. So I feel like it is a good matchup for the Pokemon trainer, and the onus is on Jimbo to play it properly. But Pango, I mean, how warmed up on 3 different characters can you be coming off of playing Game & Watch and then Diddy Kong, and now he has to play a character who's 3 different characters in one? It feels like it's very hard, and even the first stock only comes off of Jimbo going too low and not Pango finding an aggressive play.
Oh, he nearly got the stomp. I was gonna say, here's something that Pango's doing now that's absolutely clutch, is Pango's use of back air. We did not see either of these players use back air in Game 2, and Pango's connected 4 or 5, including to take the stock, and he wanted the clip so
Pango
badly.
is really just playing to farm clips right now. Oh my god. We saw him go for a dare at 0% earlier as well, and he missed that, and the back throw to Flare Blitz is not going to connect either, but Jimbo getting dragged off stage by the Squirtle, going to Pango SDs, gives another stock over. He is absolutely confident in his team, in the rest of his lineup, to clutch it out. He knows that Siena is a top team, and UConn has been struggling, but he does take it finally in a 1-stock, earning 4 more points in total for his team, but losing 1 over to Jimbo. He increases his team's lead by 3. The scoreline now being, 11-5, I believe, as we prepare for Game 4, and it's University of Connecticut really on the back foot.
Yeah. Really good stuff there at the end. Pango, really showing how practiced he is, how versatile of a player he is to have all these characters and all these matchups down again. And the other thing too that I wanted to mention here was that Pango's adaptation throughout the set. Jimbo really, he adapted well throughout games 1 and 2 to make the set closer and closer. So for Pango to come back and make the adjustments himself, is really clutch.
Yeah, and it's so hard to adjust to that Pokemon trainer because there's so much variety inherent to the character. So it does make it really hard, but props to Jimbo for keeping it that close. A really great performance from him. Earning a point back is incredibly important. It keeps their team much more strongly in the running. And we're going to throw it to another very short break as we wait for the players to get in and get everything set up. We'll be back in just a few moments. Okay, hello and welcome back, everybody. We are getting into this absolutely pivotal game 4 between Xroy on this Banjo, who he has been playing and putting some great showings on, up against MC on the Rob.
Yeah, and we've seen this matchup a couple times before, and it's a strange one to say the least. Both of these characters love their use of projectiles, but both of them also have a few boxing tools as well.
Yeah, Banjo is an incredibly well-rounded character. He's got very strong tools for that mid-range boxing fight. He's got the Wonder Wing, he's got the back air, the forward air, all of his aerials are just really, really great for that, but he can play this longer range projectile zoning game with those pellets and that grenade. Rob as well, the gyro, the laser, and then just the incredible aerials, the solid fire disjoints make him very solid at very similar things to what Banjo does. The one key difference being in recoveries. Rob's recovery is much, much better. It has many more mix-ups to it than Banjo's, whose is fairly restricted in linear.
Yeah, Zeroy in disadvantage is going to be in a world of trouble. Like you said, his recovery options are very limited, but Wonder Wing, always important to watch out for, and it takes the first stock.
Yeah, really, really great Wonder Wing from Zeroy. Tanks a hit with that armor it has and keeps going. Finds the first stock, and now a big opportunity for extra credit. We'll have to see if he's able to make any use of it. The Wonder Wing gets him back to stage, but under that platform, that up throw will certainly even up the stock count. Now, only 28% as a lead is very insignificant. It's already only down to 10.
Yeah, and good stuff there, knowing, excuse me, that off a grab, or that a grab at that percent will kill. Rob's grabs are so powerful, but it's so hard for him to really go in and get them, so look for his uses. That forward smash was dangerous.
That was very, very close to being the stock gone right there. Unfortunately, Xroy just barely mistimes it. But 50% in the lead, he has to be feeling comfortable, but a great punish on the Wonder Wing will even things up a little bit here.
You saw Rob got a grab, but instead went for the up throw mix-up right there. You'll see Robs go for down throw once they get it because it grounds you, and it's so easy to combo off of that. But I do kind of like the mix-up. It's making Zeroy think a little more.
Yeah, the one problem is it might be scaling that up throw a little bit. We saw MCC go for another one right there as well. And when it is a kill tool, it's how we saw him get that first stock off of Zeroy. It's important to keep it looking fresh. But here is the confirm off the down throw, reading the mash timing and finding the up smash. That is not guaranteed. You have to make that as a read.
Oh no, the second air dodge. He wanted to air dodge and then up be out of it, but the lag of that move ends up taking that second stock. But an important third stock here.
Very, very important third stock here. UConn really, really needs MCC to win this to keep them in. In fact, I think if MCC loses by basically any margin, UConn will be eliminated. And even now, the down B getting the kill screen, but not actually killing. MCC, though, really, really clean, keeping this ledge trap going, building a 100% lead over Xroy, and still in disadvantage.
Yeah, this is really tough. This is what we were talking about. Banjo's recovery options. You're either going straight sideways or straight up, and either way, it's easy for Rob to punish.
It is very, very easy. Now, 179 on Banjo. I'm surprised he hasn't died yet, honestly, as Rob has really great kill power in his aerials, but either way, the up smash sharking the movement closes it out, and MCC earns a point back for his team and looks to put himself on set point. And if he wins this set, UConn could look to make a big upset happen.
Yeah, I mean, this was such an important set for UConn as we talked about. But really the telltale sign here was what we talked about from the beginning is once Banjo was in disadvantage, what could Zeroy do? Rob has
True.
I mean, we talked about the last time Rob was on stream was his ledge trap capability is one of his best tools, and if Banjo only can recover one of two ways, it's pretty easy to predict which way he's going to go.
Yeah, Banjo, a very poor recovery, and Rob's ledge trapping being probably the best in the game. We even saw one of the stocks that MCC lost was off of an SD, so just really cleanly played. It looked like Xroy could not find his footing at almost any point in that game except that first stock where he did have an early advantage, and now the pressure is going to be on Xroy to make the counter pick happen and to keep his team in the set, to keep their lead and alleviate some pressure from Knight's shoulders, who will be the last player for the Siena lineup.
Yeah, and for Xroy, it seemed that really the key for him in this matchup, if he's going to really struggle in disadvantage, he has to win neutral. And winning neutral against Rob isn't the hardest thing to do, but because Banjo has all the tools that he needs, when there's so much space given between the two of them, it can be, kind of a struggle.
It definitely can be, and we didn't see that much zoning game going on from either of the players. I think there were some points where Xroy tried to set up some solid projectiles. He tried to put out some grenades and throw them, but MC was just not having any of it. He kept approaching, he kept the pressure on, and made it really, really hard for Xroy to keep him out.
Yeah, and in theory, Rob wins the projectile war, right? The grenade goes away, the gyro stays on stage, the laser can cut through most of Banjo's projectiles, so it's kind of hard for Banjo to really space out and win that battle, so he has to find a way to go in.
He has to, but he can't. We saw time and time again, every time Xroy was trying to approach, it was MCC stuffing it out a lot of the time, and then he turned stuffing it out into sending him off stage and being off stage into a ledge trap, and then just snowballed from there. In that last stock, he built like a 150% lead before taking it and closing out the game, and now we're going to be going to Smashville, which is a stage that might not solve too many of the problems. That one central platform might honestly make it even harder to approach.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious too. We also didn't really see Xroy go for any grabs. I can't think of any time that Banjo really got a grab. And he has the same similar grab setups as Rob, right? The down throw grounds you, and you can connect it to an up air or an up smash. He's got a back throw that can kill at higher percents. And his up throw
That's a big character switch, though.
Oh, yeah. No, that... Yeah, and I know about this one because this just seems it does make sense in terms of survivability and in terms of racking up damage, but I feel like Rob has all the tools that he needs to really put Bowser away in disadvantage.
I agree, but I don't feel like there's that much that Banjo does that Bowser doesn't do in this matchup, and I feel like the things that both characters do well, Bowser will do better. The one difference being not having that Wonder Wing might make getting through the wall out from Rob that much harder.
And on top of that, on a stage like this where the platform is much smaller, it's gonna force more up close interactions, where Bowser is definitely more fit for that style of play, whereas Banjo has the projectiles to use.
Yeah, I agree, but at 150, this Bowser with max rage might honestly just be looking to kill MCC. He's up 70%, but he still has to be so scared at the ledge because anything like a forward smash or even a good forward air could take the stock, but the rage is now off the table as MCC finds the up air that he needs to even things up, or not to even things up, to give himself the lead. And he has a lot of time to start working on extra credit, but a clean Nair back air will deny that opportunity.
That's such a nice confirm too, right? The multi-hit of Nair just sets you up perfectly for that back air, and now Zeroy on the chase down.
Yeah, Zeroy really, really looking for it, not able to find too much, but having the percent lead as Bowser feels great. You expect to take a lot of hits and fall behind in percent, but be the one to close out the stock first. So if you keep the stocks even or even have a lead, it feels so amazing on this Bowser pick.
And the percent's being pretty even here too. This is going to be tough for MC to get out of the corner.
It is, yeah. We saw last game was all about Zeroy being stuck in the corner, and now I feel like more often it's MCC being stuck at the ledge, being scared to come back on stage. And a great Bowser bomb is going to give the lead to Zeroy, and that big heavy wave will keep him alive from that back air as well.
The other thing we talked about we should mention between character switches, Bowser's kill setups are far easier than Banjo's. Banjo, you need the grab or you need to land a read. Bowser has so many more moves that you can just kind of throw out, and if they land, they've got so much power behind them, they can clean up stocks.
I completely agree. Like that back air, looking very scary for MCC. 44%. He really, really needs to take the stock soon, or else this extra credit is going to be insurmountable. Bowser's just so heavy, it's so hard to kill him that if this next stock, if third stock for Zeroy goes to 190 as well, I don't see MC winning.
That was, I like the mix-up there for MC to try and recover, but Zeroy just kind of read it and said, okay, you have to land using something, right? And was able to parry it. Ooh, good spacing on the back air, though.
Back air critical, finally closing out the stock. 92% already racked up onto MCC, though. Means it's going to be so, so hard. You need to get 150 onto this Bowser before you're really threatening to kill him. It's such a long road of playing nearly perfect for MCC, but it starts like this.
Bowser still has his jump, I thought.
Oh
my goodness!
Oh my god. MCC, I didn't even see that he sharked the jump away from X-Roy, but he had to have. That up B wouldn't have made it back to stage. He saved him only to kill him right after, an MCC cleans up a clean one stock victory in the end there with a great gimp. And now 11-9 is Siena's advantage over University of Connecticut. 2 points separate the two teams, which means it all comes down to Knight versus Almerax. We came into this thinking it would be one-sided, thinking Senna's number 2. They're trying for number 1. University of Connecticut's so far down, they don't stand a chance, but their lineup has absolutely impressed me so far. And it all comes down to game 5. And remember, if Siena loses, it's so bad with how densely packed the top of this league is.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive if Siena were to fall here. And great stuff to MC to keep them alive. Just awareness to realize that Bowser's out of options. He has to up B early and to go back. You know, he's burned his up B, right? So that up B is very hard to utilize properly, right? You have to kind of space it out and maneuver around with it using other moves. Mm-hmm. And so the awareness to immediately jump back up with it and use side B again, knowing that would clean up the stock, was so clean by MC.
Absolutely, and we'll have to see if Almerax coming in last for UConn can clean it up, can take home the victory for them. Knight going to try and make sure that can't happen in just a few moments as we come back from break for this pivotal Game 5. Stay tuned, you cannot miss it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game 5 between Siena College, the hard favorites going into the matchup, going against University of Connecticut. We have Knight for Siena going up against Almarax, and we're going to be getting into game in just a second here. Remember, 2 points separate the two teams, which means it's all going to come down to these last 2 players. It's almost guaranteed that whoever wins this set right here will take home the victory for their team. And out the gate, it is Almarax on this Bowser going up against Shulk in what has to be a favorable matchup for the Siena player.
Yeah, Knight's Shulk is infamous here on stream. It is one of the most consistent performers of the Siena lineup, and Shulk's sword just covers so much space, and it's going to be absolutely, it's so hard for Bowser to get in. Look at, the speed is going to work here.
We saw an early lead for Almarax, but Knight trying to clean up with the speed. Actually great evasive gameplay from Almarax though, keeping the losses, the damage to a minimum, and now both these players relatively even percent. Great spot dodge from Almarax. He's playing it so well, and I think a Knight is getting a little bit too antsy trying to approach when he doesn't have to. He can just make Almarax on this Bowser approach him through this giant sword hitbox when it's so difficult, but he keeps going in, getting punished, and the up tilt gives Almarax the early lead, and at only 92%, it's funny to say, Bowser's not really near kill percent.
Yeah, I mean, even with Smash Monado, you might be able to land a good strong hit and take this stock, but it's already gone, and Almarax, caught in disadvantage, has to find a way out of this corner.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing on the matchup, is that trying to get out of disadvantage on Bowser against Shulk with that drop zone fair, with the amazing ledge trapping, is going to be incredibly difficult. But that being said, Almarax has been making it work so far, but Knight really cleaning up his gameplay, finding these great retreating fairs, baiting Almarax in.
Almarax has to be very careful of utilizing his jumps because Knight, any Shulk player loves to space their aerials. They're constantly jumping. So for Almarax, any jump, him getting caught out is super dangerous.
This Buster Monado was potentially huge, but Almarax actually finding 3 great hits right at the end of the timer is going to bring percent back to even, and now Smash Monado with Rage is something you have to be very scared of as Almarax, and there it is, Knight takes the lead here, 2 stocks to 1, but it's answered back immediately by the up tilt, and now it's 0-0, last stock, game 1.
This is huge stuff. Almarax, he's been trying to play so carefully and weave around Knight and his aerials, but if he gets put in disadvantage once, it's just so difficult for him to get out of it. Good forward smash out of the corner. A second one!
Oh my god. 2 Buster Monado forward smashes puts Knight at 71. It's a disaster for the Shulk as he's sent off stage. He needs to get back on past this Bowser, but Almarax getting too antsy with the forward smashes, can't find it. The Bowser bomb almost breaks the shield, and there it is!
No way!
Oh, but he still lives!
And that shield armor is going to be huge. Immediately switching off into speed, though. He needs to rack up some percent here.
He needs to rack up percent. He needs to find the kill. 122 on Smash with Rage means it's going to be a next big hit in the drop zone fair with Jump Monado in an absolutely crazy game 1. Goes just barely in Knight's favor. The lead 13-9. Almarax needs to win the next 2 games to clutch it out for UConn, and even because that 1 point went the way of Siena. 12-9. Oh my god. Yeah, it's completely on Almarax. Whoever wins this set wins the game, and Knight is 1 game away.
That was such a fast-paced set, too. Like, I feel like a minute didn't even go by. But that's just kind of the nature of this specific type of matchup on FD, where, they're forced to go into each other. These are 2 characters that love to be in each other's face, and Knight just did a very good job of cleaning up edge guards. That's one of the things that Shulk players you have to do is when you have a character off stage, especially a character like Bowser whose recovery is abysmal, you have to be able to clean up stocks. And you see the instant recognition at the end of the set to instantly switch to jump art, knowing that it's going to give him that little bit of extra distance to go out there and swing that forward air to secure the final stock of the game.
Yeah, Shulk players love their drop zone fairs. It's such an incredibly powerful tool on that character, and we see why right there. And now, looking to the future, looking to the picks and the bans, I think Almerax on this Bowser wants to take Knight to the smallest stage possible. We saw Knight get so much value out of retreating fairs and retreating nairs. You want to limit the space he can run away to as much as possible.
Yeah, spacing going to be huge, as you've mentioned. I would be interested to see if he'll probably avoid triplats, though, because the swords is just going to cover too much space. Even though the platform would give him, a different recovery option, possibly, if he wants to try and recover high. That's not really Bowser's strength.
Yeah.
This matchup is very much spacing oriented. You saw the second that Knight misspaced a move, Almerax was already over it.
Yeah, and it's going to be Lilat as the pick, which I really like. It's a relatively small, claustrophobic space that doesn't give Shulk a lot of space to run around. The fire on the stage is really, really powerful, and these platforms are low enough that Bowser can always cover them with basically anything he wants to do.
On top of that, recovering underneath the stage using that slant to throw a hitbox up top is going to be so pivotal because both characters can do it.
Absolutely, and already it's an early lead going Almerex's way. We saw some buster hits come through, but it wasn't enough to even things up. And this speed Monado feels great, but there's not a lot of space to run through to really get full value out of it on a stage like Lilat.
Yeah, great job too by Almerax to burn most of Knight's smash art there, using that fire breath.
Yeah, really great. And importantly, we saw Almerax go under the drop zone fair. Really great awareness. And now, finding that Bowser bomber, as long as he can wait out this Smash Monado, at 94%, Bowser's going to have 30, 40 more percent in the bank, where he's not in danger of dying, and all of that percent is going to be time to build your lead overnight.
Yeah, Almerax getting good stuff there by Knight to go out there, secure that forward air stock. But Almerax getting a little greedy going for a down B. That down B is not going to be easy to land because of the positioning of these platforms.
Yeah, I agree. And Shulk in disadvantage with Buster. Not where you want to be. He's able to make it. Oh my god, that fire could have dealt so much damage to Buster Monado. Knight switches off knowing this is not his time. And the armor from the forward smash gives a full stock lead to Almerax when he needs it most.
That tough guy armor is disgusting. It feels like it shouldn't be this good, but it is so pivotal.
And now there's so little percent on this Bowser. There's so much time to rack up extra credit onto Knight, and Knight knows it. He goes for the greedy fair, but finds nothing.
Almerax trying to find his way out of the corner, gets grabbed for it. Ooh, yeah, Knight is really trying to secure the stock early because he knows any percent now is just going to be so massive.
Yeah, but he keeps getting punished for it. Only 46%. It could be much worse. Great tech by Almerax. He's back on stage, and now it's a huge lead trap scenario. The get-up attack saves Knight, though. But once again, we're back here, 60% already onto Knight's last stock, and he's still not finding the kill.
I'm actually surprised that forward smash did not kill, but Bowser...
He's in smash.
This is big.
There it is, Smash Monado. Remember, Shulk's Monados go both ways, and Almerax seals out a 2-stock victory with that Bowser bomb grab. And now it all comes down to game 3. It is set point. It is match point for the two teams. And I could not have expected it to come to this when we first started out the match.
Yeah, this is absolutely massive if Almerax can clean this up. It would be such a huge upset for the conference overall. But I just want to talk about Almarex didn't use side B for most of that set, and even when he did, it was just kind of a whiffed grab, right? So it really was inconsequential. So for him to get that kill in this set, right? I mean, that was a 2-stock, right? That was a massive swing. Yeah.
It was absolutely gigantic. I mean, even game 1 was absolutely down to the wire. Now, Almarex coming out with a 2-stock on his counter pick, mind you. We are going to be going to Knight's counter pick here, but it still looks very, very good for Almarex, as we are going to be going to Smashville, which it feels like it has a very similar dynamic to Lilat in that it's a very claustrophobic small stage with low platforms. So I think Almarex is pretty happy about where his opponent is taking him.
Yeah, I tend to agree, but I also think that this is the type of stage where the rich get richer, right? As soon as one of them's in disadvantage, it's going to be hard to get out of either way.
Absolutely. But like, look at how small this stage is. Like, what do you do with Speed Monado on Smashville? 2 forward airs and your opponent's already back off stage. You can't keep chasing them down, but a great little Buster string is going to put 65% on Almarex, and it's a very nice early lead for Knight, despite maybe not the greatest stage choice.
Knight's spacing on that ledge trap was so pivotal. You saw him space out those forward airs, those grabs, and one Flame Breath and grab is going to even it up. This is insane.
Yeah, and the Smash Ronaldo coming out a little early, but the drop zone fair barely clips, and now this is a huge, huge lead for Knight. 76%. Means even the up smash won't kill yet. Almarex needs to find this stock, or else there's going to be a Buster running him down and putting him at 70.
He got all that damage.
Just like this.
Oh yeah, I know. Look at this Buster go to work, and now the smash art. This is so dangerous. One well-spaced back air. If you were any closer to center stage, he was dead.
It's going to have to be a huge comeback from Almarex. It's so tense. The forward smash not quite killing, but a full stock lead lapping in percent for Knight. Finally, Almarex finds the kill, but he's already down so much. This Smash Ronaldo is so terrifying. If you lose this stock here, you are in dire straits. It would need to be an amazing comeback.
Yeah, Almarex really struggling to find a way out of this corner. That's a couple times now he's done neutral get up, and I think Knight's starting to catch on to it. Ooh, good up B though, and shield are already getting him out of disadvantage.
Everything is so tense right now. Knight faking out a drop zone fair, and in the Smash Ronaldo, Bowser at 146, you have to imagine any smash attack will kill. The Nair of all things is what does it, and now, once again, low percent on this Shulk. Almarex at 0, but a full stock behind means that Knight can throw out the Buster Monado with no fear of retaliation.
Ooh, it's a big thing that he's in shield art for that, because that is worth a lot of percent and stage control. So now back into neutral, goes into Buster, and oh, that up smash was a little greedy, and he's going to eat 48% for it.
Yeah. The Buster Monado bread and butter is just so hard, especially when Shulk is ahead, and he feels like even if he takes extra percent in Buster, he doesn't care that much. It's like full reward with very minimal risk. And 81% already on this Bowser. Almarex looking so bad. Knight turning it up exactly when he needs it to, exactly on match point to close it out for his team. He's looking to make it happen.
Good backslash. He hasn't really used that recovery option. He used it once in game 1, but ever since then he's just kind of dropped it. This is a big edge guard, but Almarex finding a way back. Backslash
Another
actually
backslash.
Hits him in the back.
The ledge trap situation, he goes for the dunk instead of just waiting, and now the stocks are going to be even, but 133% with smash and jump Monado means the drop zone fair is so easy. It's Knight closing it out, taking it in the closest match we've had in a long time. Final score 15 to 11. It all came down to game 3, last game of the match, but Knight closes it out for Siena.
And at the end of the day, it was Knight's spacing that was so pivotal, right? He's got that big sword and he just abused it on Bowser, who has to come in. And it's just so hard. Look at all the replays of how hard it is for Almarex to get inside Shulk's zone.
It's... Honestly, when you look back at it, it's kind of crazy that it was that close for Almarex in the first place. Because at the end of Game 3, Knight was playing so clean over Almarex, but it took a long time for him to make the adaptations he needed. It was in Almarex's favor for quite a while, and narrowly does Knight carry his team. Narrowly do they avoid the upset and keep themselves in contention for second place. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of the match between Siena and Yukon. We're going to bring you Canisius and Niagara in just a few moments. I'm sure the players are waiting, ready to get into the lobby, but we are going to have to throw it to a quick break while we make our final preparations.